So any eagle-eyed people out there will notice we've got a new backdrop for the YouTube videos. We've had a big change around, we've moved rooms, so I'm in a bigger room now, but it's not finished. I'm not gonna lie, behind the camera over here and over here is absolute chaos, so I won't show you that. But I didn't want to wait too long because it's gonna take a little bit longer to get this room finished. So I thought, let's get started, let's get recording and get back on the YouTube videos. So today we're gonna be looking at a new purchase that I've made, which is the Canon RF 15-35mm and my initial thoughts on this lens. So let's get into it. So I've replaced my trusty 18-235 lens that I got with the Canon 80D, and I've replaced it with this beast of a lens, which is of course the Canon RF 15-35mm. It is awesome. So straight out of the box, I thought the new RF lens would be a lot bigger than my old EF lens, but looking at it, it's not that much difference. It's a little bit bigger. Then obviously once you extend out this 18-35, that's even bigger. So, you know, size-wise, not a problem. Weight, again, surprisingly similar. I thought this new RF lens would be a lot heavier than this old lens, but I'm really impressed that it's, you know, it's not going to be a brick like I thought it would be after watching multiple reviews on this lens. So I'm really happily surprised about that. This RF lens, like I say, I've only used it on one shoot so far, and I was so impressed with the low light capability of it. It was a shoot in a gym, which in one corner wasn't the best lighting. It was a bit dark, and it held focus really well on the EOS R. I think I pushed the ISO up to about 800 to 1000, and the image quality held up really well. It kept on focus, which was what I wanted, and I was concerned about with it being a new lens straight out of the box. It was my first time using it. It's always difficult to get on new kit because you trust the old kit, you know it inside out, and obviously this is brand new, but after about 5 minutes of using it, it was just like I feel with the old lens. So I'm really happy with it so far. I haven't used it much for photos yet, but that was the main reason, as well as video, why I wanted to get a really good wide angle lens, because in low light conditions with the old 18-235, because I could only go down to f4, when I'm shooting weddings that are usually quite badly lit up, it makes it really difficult to nail focus. You have to bump your ISO up way too high, and that obviously affects the image quality. So now I've got this that goes down to 2.8. I'm getting more light into the camera sensor, and I don't have to bump my ISO up quite as far. But to be fair, the EOS R, the camera that I'm shooting on, both weddings and video, is very good in low light. So combining these two is going to work so well, and I'm really excited to see what images I can get with this as well. Because like I say, I've only taken a couple of pictures around the house and not really used it in anger yet. The other surprising thing that I didn't take into account was, usually when you zoom out on a lens, you're going from your widest point to your longest point. So for example, on this lens, you would think that by zooming out, you'd start at 15 and you go to 35, but actually in this lens, it's the other way around. And I don't think I've seen that in any of the reviews that are on YouTube, or I've not noticed anyone mention that. So that might be a bit of something to get used to, because like I said, I'm used to going from the widest focal length to the longest focal length going that way, but it's actually the other way around. So that's going to take a little bit of getting used to. But apart from that, that's the only con, and it's not really a con, it's just going to be something I adapt to anyway. The other thing I really like is this control ring on the outside. To begin with, I've set it up to amend my ISO, so when I need to, I can just change the ISO by moving that control ring, and I love the clicky noise. I don't know if you can hear this, but that's good. That noise, it's just, I like that feedback of being able to, instead of it being really smooth and you could easily lose kind of control of the ISO or whatever you've put that control ring to, it's really tactile, and that noise, I'll do it again for you ASMR people. It's just really nice to be able to just a couple of clicks, and I know that I bumped the ISO up to just the right amount. So yeah, again, a new function that I'm not used to, but I'm really looking forward to using it. And I might change it to a different control, but for now I'm going to use it for ISO and see how I get on. But if I start bumping it and noticing that I'm bumping my ISO up unintentionally, then obviously I'll try something else. But for now, let's give it a whirl. So the other thing I'm really looking forward to using this lens for is landscape photography. ever since I got my 70-200, I've kind of defaulted to using that for my landscape shots, really punching into the landscapes, getting them kinds of images, whereas now I can almost force myself to shoot wider. I haven't really used my 18-135 that much at the wider end. I always like to, like say, punch in a little bit, but now if I want to, I really do have the option to go super wide with that 15mm and get a lot of foreground as well as the midground and the background of an image. So again, I'm looking forward to really utilising the wide angle lens capability of this bit of kit. And I'll also be using this as my main vlogging lens as well, because the fact I can go to 15mm. When I'm using it on my switch pod, I can go to 15mm, get it nice and wide. I don't have to hold out my arm as much because I'll be honest with you, even with the 18-35 on the switch pod on the EOS R, it was a heavy bit of kit, and when you're holding it out, the arms start to ache a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. And I know this is a heavy lens, but I don't see it being as bad now that I can hold it a little bit closer to me and get a little bit wider with the lens. But time will tell. My next vlog, I'll find out when I'm out on the lakes, and this thing's probably burning my arm off by the end of the day, but I think it's going to be pretty good to work with in general for video, for photos, and I just can't wait to see what results I can get with it. So yeah, I am really excited to get using my first piece of RF glass. I initially purchased the Canon RF 35mm macro prime, and a couple of days after ordering it, I just wasn't really that excited about it. From the reviews, a lot of people said it's a very capable lens, but it was nothing to be excited about. And I needed something that went a little bit wider and that would produce some very special images and special video. And I'm so glad that I cancelled that order, returned it, and purchased this absolute beast, because, like I say, even after only a few times using it, I know this is going to be on my camera lens probably 80-90% of the time, especially when needing to shoot wide and get a little bit tighter with it to go to 35mm when shooting weddings. And for video, it's just going to be the perfect lens to use because it's just so adaptable. It's great in low light and it's incredibly sharp. So now my setup is the 70-200 2.8, the 15-35 2.8, and obviously the nifty 50 1.8. So I'm looking forward to using them three lenses as my staple now. That's going to be in my bag from now for a good while. I don't think I'll change the 1.8 50mm anytime soon. The nifty 50 is working a treat both for these videos and as well for my sports photography, as well as my wedding photography and general photography that I'm doing. So I'm looking forward to, like I say, having these. It's not the Holy Trinity, but it's my Holy Trinity for now. So let me know in the comments below if you've got any RF glass, and especially the 15-35, what are the pros and cons that you found using it? How have you got on with it? Any drawbacks that you can find apart from the obvious weight and price, because it is quite an expensive lens, but for me it's an investment. It's a step up for me. I feel like I can really push on now with my photo and video work now that I've got a real top quality bit of kit here with the wide angle lens, accompanied by the 70-200, which I love to use, and obviously the nifty 50 1.8, which although is a budget lens, it really does pack a punch, and it punches well above its weight. So yeah, with this bit of kit, these three lenses, I think I can do some damage with photo and video. I'm really excited. I can't wait to get using it. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be fun, and I cannot wait to get out there. Unfortunately, the Lake District weather has turned against me. Since I bought this lens, it's like a bad omen. The heavens have opened and hasn't really stopped raining for the last week, and I don't want to get out there and trash this lens straight away. So as soon as that weather starts getting a bit better, I'm going to be out there shooting predominantly with this lens on my camera. So the plan is to do a bit more of an in-depth review on this lens once I start using it over the next few months towards the back end of 2021. So if you like the sound of that, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, it really does help. I want to try and get this channel out to more people and grow this channel. We've hit that 50 subscriber mark, let's push on and keep getting towards that 100, that'll be amazing before the end of the year. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.